In March 2016, a man named Su Bin, a Chinese national residing in Canada, stood in a U.S. federal courtroom and admitted to one of the most damaging cases of espionage in modern history. For more than 6 years, he had quietly orchestrated a sophisticated campaign of cyber theft, targeting America's most ambitious defense project, the F-35 Lightning II fighter jet. What was stolen was not a few scattered files or minor details. It was an avalanche of secrets. Nearly 50 terabytes of classified data disappeared into the hands of Chinese intelligence. Inside that mountain of stolen information were the blueprints for the jet's engines, the designs of its stealth radar, advanced cooling systems, and even the sensitive software that made the F-35 virtually invisible to enemy detection. American taxpayers had invested nearly $400 billion into developing this aircraft, a jet that was supposed to guarantee U.S. air dominance for decades to come. But through one of the most devastating breaches in military history, those secrets were delivered straight to Beijing. The consequences are visible today. China's J-35 stealth fighter, unveiled to the world looking strikingly similar to the F-35, is no coincidence. It is the direct result of stolen innovation, an aircraft born from American engineering but flying under a foreign flag. This is not just a story of technology theft. It's a story of complacency, failed safeguards, and the high price of underestimating a determined adversary. Welcome to Jet Foundation, where we uncover the hidden truths behind military aviation's biggest scandals. Nearly 99% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. If you find value in our investigations, take a second to hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps Jet Foundation continue uncovering the untold stories behind military aviation. At the dawn of the new millennium, the Pentagon launched what would become the largest and most ambitious fighter jet program in history, the Joint Strike Fighter Initiative. Officially unveiled in 2001, this project wasn't about creating just another aircraft. It was about building the very backbone of American and Allied air power for the next half-century. The result was the F-35 Lightning II, a single fighter platform designed in 3 distinct versions. The F-35A would serve the U.S. Air Force with traditional runways and long-range strike capability. The F-35B, created for the Marine Corps, was engineered for short takeoffs and vertical landings, giving it unmatched flexibility in combat zones with little infrastructure. Finally, the F-35C, with its reinforced frame and folding wings, was crafted specifically for carrier operations, extending American naval power across the world's oceans. But what truly set the F-35 apart wasn't just its versatility, it was its revolutionary technology. Engineers had poured decades of research and billions of dollars into stealth shaping, radar-absorbing coatings, and advanced cooling systems that allowed the jet to all but vanish from enemy detection. Its APG-81 radar could track targets without revealing its own position, while its distributed aperture system gave pilots a 360-degree view of the battlefield. Add to that cutting-edge electronic warfare capabilities, and the F-35 wasn't just a fighter jet, it was a flying fortress of sensors, stealth, and survivability. For the United States and its allies, the Lightning II represented not just air superiority, but a decisive technological edge that was supposed to remain unmatched for decades. It was, in every sense, the crown jewel of American defense innovation. The story of how America's most advanced fighter jet was compromised doesn't begin on the battlefield. It begins in the supply chain. The F-35 program was unlike anything attempted before, involving hundreds of contractors and subcontractors spread across the United States and allied nations. From major defense giants like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, down to small specialty firms producing single components, the network was vast and complex. That complexity became its greatest weakness. While the prime contractors had strong security, smaller firms often lacked the same level of cyber protection. Hackers knew this, and they exploited it. Around 2007, Chinese cyber operatives launched a series of coordinated intrusions targeting these subcontractors. Their weapon of choice wasn't brute force, but deception. Using carefully crafted spear phishing emails, they tricked employees into clicking malicious links or opening infected files. Once inside, the hackers moved laterally through networks, escalating their access step by step. Sensitive databases were quietly raided, and entire systems copied, all while encrypted transmissions ensured the theft went largely undetected. The breaches were devastating, but perhaps even more shocking was the Pentagon's failure to prevent them. Oversight of subcontractor security was minimal, with an over-reliance on trust that each company would protect its own slice of classified information. A 2009 Government Accountability Office report explicitly warned of major cyber risks within the defense supply chain. Those warnings were ignored. With weak enforcement, inconsistent standards, and no accountability, America's most guarded secret slipped away through digital backdoors. What should have been an impenetrable wall of defense was, in reality, a chain full of weak links, and adversaries knew exactly how to break it. Nearly 99% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. If you find value in our investigations, take a second to hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps Jet Foundation continue uncovering the untold stories behind military aviation. The theft of F-35 technology wasn't just an embarrassment, it was a blow to the very foundation of American airpower. For decades, the United States relied on a clear technological edge in the skies to deter adversaries and protect allies. The F-35 was designed to extend that dominance for half a century. But with its blueprints compromised, that edge has been eroded. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the Pacific. With tensions rising over Taiwan and the South China Sea, China's ability to field stealth fighters that mirror the F-35 directly threatens America's ability to maintain air superiority in a region where control of the skies could decide the outcome of any conflict. The damage didn't stop there. America's closest partners, nations that invested billions into the F-35 program, began to question Washington's ability to safeguard shared technologies. Trust, once the bedrock of defense cooperation, was shaken. Economically, the consequences have been equally severe. The United States had long dominated the global fighter market, with advanced aircraft sales strengthening alliances and generating billions in revenue. But China, armed with stolen designs, now presents itself as a direct competitor, offering stealth fighters at a lower price point. Each sale of a Chinese jet means fewer opportunities for U.S. manufacturers, and fewer allies flying American aircraft. Perhaps most concerning is the precedent set. By successfully stealing the F-35 secrets, China demonstrated to the world that America's crown jewels could be taken. Other adversaries have surely taken note, emboldening them to attempt similar cyber espionage campaigns. When investigators pieced together how so much sensitive F-35 data slipped away, they discovered the problem wasn't just sophisticated hackers, it was a system riddled with technical flaws and human errors. For one, the networks protecting the program were never truly isolated. Poor segmentation meant that once an intruder gained entry through a weak subcontractor, they could move laterally across systems, accessing far more than their initial target. What should have been a series of locked vaults was more like an open hallway. Even the information that was protected often relied on outdated encryption standards, leaving supposedly secure files vulnerable to modern computing power. And where strong encryption was used, sloppy key management practices sometimes gave attackers backdoor access. Detection was another weak point. Monitoring systems were either primitive or underused, meaning large-scale data transfers went unnoticed. On the rare occasion suspicious activity was flagged, response times were slow, giving adversaries all the time they needed to complete their missions. But perhaps the most critical weakness was human. Employees across the supply chain received minimal cybersecurity training. That's why spear phishing, the simple trick of sending a convincing email with a malicious attachment, proved so devastating. Many workers didn't know the warning signs, and one careless click could compromise an entire network. Finally, there was no unified understanding of the F-35's digital architecture. Each contractor managed its own corner of the system with little coordination. That patchwork approach created gaps and blind spots, vulnerabilities that China's hackers were quick to exploit. In the end, the theft wasn't just about cutting-edge cyber attacks. It was about a defense ecosystem unprepared for the realities of 21st century warfare. The financial and military impact of the F-35 data theft is staggering. At its core lies a $400 billion investment by American taxpayers, years of research, development, and testing poured into creating the most advanced fighter jet ever built. That massive sum was meant to guarantee U.S. dominance in the skies. Instead, much of that knowledge was handed over to a rival, effectively giving China a shortcut that cost them nothing. The blow extended far beyond development. The F-35 was also designed as a cornerstone of U.S. defense exports, with allied nations investing heavily to secure access to its technology. But with stolen designs fueling China's J-35 program, America's grip on the global fighter market weakened. Every time Beijing offers its stealth jet to a foreign buyer, it undercuts U.S. sales, not only costing billions in revenue, but also diluting America's influence over which nations fly its aircraft. Then came the hidden expenses. To prevent future disasters, the Pentagon was forced to implement sweeping cybersecurity upgrades across the defense industry. These fixes were essential, but they came at enormous cost, costs that were, once again, shouldered by the American taxpayer. Perhaps most costly of all, the breach forced the U.S. to accelerate development of next-generation fighters to maintain an edge. Compressing design timelines and rushing testing means higher budgets and greater risk. Instead of focusing on long-term strategy, resources were diverted to repairing the damage already done. The theft of F-35 technology wasn't just a blow to pride or prestige. It was a multi-billion-dollar wound, one that continues to drain America's wallet and reshape its military priorities to this day. The theft of F-35 technology didn't just weaken the United States, it strained the very alliances the program was built upon. The Joint Strike Fighter wasn't a solo American project. Nations like the United Kingdom, Italy, the Netherlands, and others poured billions into the program, trusting Washington to guard their shared investment. When the extent of the cyber breach came to light, that trust was shaken. For allies, the revelation was more than a security failure, it was a breach of confidence. If America could not protect the crown jewel of its own defense technology, how could it be trusted to safeguard the sensitive systems they had entrusted to joint projects? That unease sparked hesitation. In future defense collaborations, partners began to question whether sharing their most advanced technologies with the U.S. was truly safe. The diplomatic damage extended well beyond allied capitals. On the global stage, the stolen data became a powerful tool for Beijing. The rapid appearance of China's J-35 fighter signaled to the world that Washington's technological edge was no longer unchallenged. In international negotiations, this new reality gave China leverage, strengthening its image as a peer competitor rather than a distant follower. At the same time, the breach complicated America's ability to market the F-35 abroad. Nations weighing expensive purchases had to consider whether they were buying into a platform whose secrets were already compromised. Each doubt opened the door wider for Chinese alternatives, eroding both U.S. influence and economic strength. In the end, the fallout was clear. The F-35 breach wasn't just a loss of secrets, it was a loss of credibility, and credibility is the currency of global power. The F-35 breach was more than a wake-up call, it was a blueprint of what not to do. If there is one clear lesson, it is this: cybersecurity must be treated as a core part of national defense, not an afterthought. Every link in the supply chain, from the largest defense contractor to the smallest subcontractor, needs the same high standard of protection. A single weak point is enough to bring the entire system down. Accountability is another critical piece. For too long, officials and contractors escaped serious consequences when cybersecurity failures occurred. Without real responsibility and oversight, vulnerabilities remain unaddressed. Protecting national secrets demands not only strong technology, but also strong leadership willing to enforce the rules. The breach also underscored the need for a unified government-wide cyber defense strategy. Fragmented approaches, with each agency and company guarding its own piece, leave dangerous gaps. America's adversaries operate with coordination and persistence. The U.S. must respond with the same unity of effort. Innovation itself is part of defense. The faster the U.S. can develop and field next-generation technologies, the quicker stolen designs become outdated. Stagnation gives rivals time to catch up. Speed keeps them behind. Finally, this is not a battle America can fight alone. Cyber espionage is a global threat, and strengthening international cooperation is essential. By sharing intelligence, aligning defenses, and holding aggressors accountable, allies can close the openings that adversaries exploit. The F-35 case proved that the cost of complacency is measured in billions of dollars, lost trust, and diminished power. The lesson is simple: in the digital age, cybersecurity is national security. The F-35 Lightning II still stands today as the most advanced and capable fighter aircraft in the world. Its stealth, sensors, and versatility remain unmatched. But its edge has been compromised. The theft of its secrets revealed how complacency and weak security can undo even the most powerful defense projects. This breach wasn't just about stolen data. It was about exposing the fragility of America's defenses in the digital age. It proved that the battles of the future will not always be fought in the skies, but often in the unseen realm of cyberspace. And if the United States cannot protect its next-generation technologies, its dominance in the air, and its global security leadership will be at risk. Yet, there is also a reminder here of what sets America apart. Innovation, resilience, and the ability to adapt quickly have always been the nation's greatest strengths. While secrets can be stolen, the spirit of constant reinvention cannot. The challenge ahead is clear: protect what has been built, move faster than adversaries, and ensure that American ingenuity continues to set the pace for the world. And now we turn to you. If you found this story eye-opening, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Nearly 99% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. If you find value in our investigations, take a second to hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps Jet Foundation continue uncovering the untold stories behind military aviation. Give this video a like, and share it with others who care about military history, technology, and the future of air power. This is Military and Air Force Talks, where we uncover the hidden stories and hard truths behind the machines and missions that shape our world.